Hello there, and welcome to another week of Cosplay Cafe. Thank you for joining us. We know we've had a few reschedules this month, and we appreciate your patience. Tonight, we are serving up a hot steaming cup of cosplay. So, we're going to be announcing the winners of our cosplay contest collaboration with Lone Wolf Comics. But first, enjoy our credit sequence. All right, welcome back after the credit sequence. First, I'm going to bring in the woman, the myth, the legend, Andrea Starnes.
I feel a little bit like a myth lately because I haven't been on a couple of weeks.
The elusive cryptid, Andrea Starnes.
I'm like Bigfoot.
You know what?
It's good to be back, though. I've missed you guys. I've missed being on and just nerding out with you guys. So it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. And you know what? It's fitting that we're finally all together sharing a screen for the first episode of the year. And it's kind of nice that we don't have a guest because then we can just nerd out together.
Like we always do.
Like we always do. And speaking of the three of us, here is my other half, another legend, the epic Crayle Vanest.
Hey. Yes. A little less cryptid than me lately.
Literally my other half tonight. We are cosplaying as twins.
Yes, we are. Janelle and Cersei from Nightwolf, which if you haven't seen any of our announcements or like little mini episodes that we had or anything, we did a cosplay contest for the first like month and a half of the year or so, where comic book creator Rob Multari asked us to get a contest together because he wants to have a cosplay comic book cover. I was like, this is so many C's. I have to pause before I get them all out. Anyway, I'm going to fix my audio first real quick because apparently I am too quiet. Thank you, Derek, for pointing that out. And I hope it's better now.
Yes, you're a little louder now.
Okay, that should fix it. Anyway, train, thoughts, railroad, all the way over here.
Contest.
Are there tracks for the train to be on?
No, this is an all-terrain vehicle. Anyway, so the comic book creator Rob Multari wanted to do a cosplay contest for his books Snowpaw and Nightwolf. Our time window was narrower than we necessarily wanted it to be. We're realizing as this is our first time for any of us running a cosplay contest. So we ended up focusing a virtual one. That's what I meant, was running a cosplay contest of this type.
This caliber.
And so we ended up having to focus on Nightwolf only.
Nightwolf
only. And we'll do Snowpaw
for today.
Exactly. And it's still on theme. It's in the same universe. And you're a character who appears in Nightwolf too. So,
yes. Just a little more, not as Scottish Highlands when she shows up in Nightwolf.
She does not wear much when she shows up.
That's why I went Snowpaw version.
We might have gotten a YouTube ban.
I would have had to film from here up.
It is very spicy, y'all. So if y'all like spicy werewolf ladies, you need to pick up this comic.
But yeah, so we'll be announcing our winner today and our two runner-ups who will be getting loot boxes. And then, of course, our winner will be on the cover of an issue of Nightwolf. We don't know exactly when it will come out because independent creators tend to have a less regular publishing schedule.
It's a when they can get it out schedule.
Exactly. And we've got comments from Derek here, who started out with, well, hello there. Hey, hi, howdy, nerdesses, dorkettes, and geekarinas. Derek has
we've got
the best
more
nicknames.
names now.
I like Geek Arena.
Yeah, that's a new one.
It's kind of fancy.
And then he said, someone say spicy. I knew I could like if Derek was a horse, his ears would have gone whoop.
You had your Derek Spidey senses tingling.
Right.
Oh, the spicy senses. There we go.
Spicy senses.
The spicy senses. New term.
I love dad jokes. It's fine.
Andrea and Derek inventing words here. So
that's what we do.
That's Derek Spicer. If you can't see the screen, his last name is Spicer. Sometimes we make jokes about Derek and Spicy.
There's so many spicy jokes.
We just need some spicy merch.
Every birthday, he's like, "Oh, I'm Old Spice now."
He needs a Spice Girl outfit.
Derek.
I told him we're gonna do the Spice Girls, and he was like, "Oh, for me?"
Yes, Derek.
I still want to do Spice Girls Sailor Moon mashups. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun too. I'm down for any Sailor Moon's mashups though.
Sailor Moon and Spice Girls, I enjoy both. So I'm not even a closeted Spice Girls fan. I just like the Spice Girls. I will openly admit it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Janelle and Cersei would rock some of the Sailor Moon villain looks too, like somebody from the Dead Moon Circus, or it's like sexy but kind of weird.
Yeah, they kind of, with their little witchy outfits and stuff, I could totally see them. So we're gonna have characters cosplaying other characters. Cosplay Inception.
I am for that. Also, I've got the Ginger Spice dress in my Amazon wish list. So, whenever I have a few extra bucks, I
wanted that so bad. I did have a British flag tank top that I wore all through my senior year of high school, and right after I got out of high school, I wore it until it didn't fit anymore. So
yes, I want it. I want it so bad. I just keep going back to it. I'm like, no, I got bills to pay this week.
Yeah, adulting.
Yeah, I will probably end up cosplaying Baby Spice, and she's so easy. Just find anything like cotton candy pink and tight. Boom.
Everything right now is perfect. Now. All of the clothes out right now are perfect.
Right.
Weirdly, as much as it's not my vibe, I always wanted to be Posh Spice.
You should.
You should.
I wanted to be her, even though that is the polar opposite of every vibe I have ever had in any clothing phase of my life.
But I can picture you in the platform Steve Madden flip-flops that cost $300 and a black tube dress.
I love her.
Delicious.
I love her style. I mean, I loved Victoria's style. Though I did also love Ginger. So, Okay, we're Spice Girl talking now. I think we're supposed to be Oopsies.
Okay.
But once again, no rails, guys.
No rails.
No rails.
This is definitely a crazy train, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess I will get into some of the photos. I want to make sure everybody who normally joins us a little bit late has as much time as possible to see the actual winner reveal. So we're going to start with the people who weren't actually eligible to win, meaning the three of us and my husband. I told him today, I was like, you're going to be so heartbroken to know that you didn't win. And he went, oh, is it because I'm sleeping with one of the judges?
You already have a swag pack at your house, so he gets with. I hope. Is it Rob? It's Rob, isn't it?
Yes, my husband is sleeping with Rob. I'm so sorry, Rob. You're not here, so we have to pick on you.
We love you both. We love you both, guys.
Right. So in any case, we'll start with Andrea, mostly because her photos are uploaded first.
These were 3 a.m., y'all, after a very, very long day of work.
Oh my gosh. Andrea messaged us and she was like, I'm so sorry. I hope my face didn't look tired from work. And we were like, girl, that's you tired?
That's a lot of concealer under my eyes.
That's okay. That's okay. That's what makeup was invented for.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us why you chose this character? Well, tell us a little bit about the character and then why you chose this character.
Okay. I literally was just flipping through the pages. I hadn't even been reading it yet. I saw Anne Marie. My first thought was, my Madame Redwig would be perfect for her. She's got the bob with the little V bangs. And I had the pants and the gloves. And normally I make corsets. I was just like, I'm going to buy one, throw it together, get a little red hood. And this is so out of character for me as a cosplayer. So I had to make myself feel comfortable taking these pictures. It took me a little bit, but I'm kind of happy with them. Oh, thank you. It's at 3 a.m. after a very long day of work.
I also love the curtain backdrop.
That's my living room, y'all. If Crayle and Kelly have seen my living room, but my living room is very Victorian sitting room, and those are just the curtains over my window. I just closed them so that the neighbors across the street wouldn't be like, "What is she doing at 3 o'clock in the morning?" I do have I have a very, very nosy neighbor who also is very snarky about everything we do. So I probably should have run around in my front yard in this instead.
I was gonna say.
Well, my brother Brad, because my birthday is on Sunday, and they want to have like a casual cosplay party for my birthday. Mm-hmm. And he said he's coming and wearing a devil costume and dancing in my front yard to annoy the neighbor across the street. So if it happens, if Brad actually does that, I will film it and it will get loaded onto our social media.
Yes, it will. If you're new to the channel, Andrea goes all out with her holiday decorations in her yard, and she has a neighbor who's been petty about it before. And so I think like this neighbor is officially the nemesis of the Cosplay Cafe podcast now. We're just like, how dare you not appreciate the effort?
Right. We even had Mardi Gras beads hanging from my mailbox and on my front door and everything. like, look, I'm sorry that your life is depressing and you have to bring other people down. I'm going to have fun. And then Mom is just like, go crazy.
Yep. Misty Pierce says, absolutely beautiful.
That's my big sis. I was with her last weekend. If we would have had the show, I would have been coming to you guys from a hotel room in Jackson, Mississippi, because I was visiting my sister for her horse show, where also I'm going to brag about my big sister. She came away with quite a few awards and double qualified for the American Quarter Horse World Show. So,
nice.
Brag about my big sister there a little bit.
Good job, Misty. We're so proud of you.
Someday I'm going to show you all the picture of my sister. She was technically the first cosplayer in the family because I have a picture of her as a kid in a Wonder Woman costume.
Ooh, I want to see this.
Misty, I still have that. I'm sorry. I love you. But, Mom always showed that picture to her boyfriends when they first came over.
Okay, we won't show it on air without Misty's consent. Because consent is important.
But so she was technically the first cosplayer, because I think this was before I was even born that she was wearing this costume. So
I love it.
First cosplayer in the family.
Misty says, no, you will not. Misty, I want to see it. We won't show it on air.
I'll share it with Kelly and Crayle and no one else except all our followers. Love you, big sis.
Derek Spicer also says busybody neighbors are one of the universe's 7 great evils.
What are
they really are, especially when you literally did nothing to upset them.
Yeah, Derek, if you know what they are, type the other 6 into the comments. We want to know.
Yes.
And also, I want to circle back a little bit to Andrea talking about how it's out of character for her that she normally makes her corsets. I mean, Andrea sells corsets that she makes, is a very talented corset maker. But one of the things we talked about in our mini episode a couple weeks ago was that the nice thing about a virtual cosplay contest is, since you're only submitting a few photos anyway, and the judges can't go up and examine your stitch work, what really becomes important is how well you convey the attitude, the setting, bring something extra because you're in control of what the photos look like. Yep, and that makes virtual cosplay contests unique and different. It gives people who aren't necessarily a seamstress a different way to shine. And so I think it's incredibly appropriate that this is probably the least you've ever sewn yourself for one of the costumes that you've shown off here. Yeah. But this was the virtual cosplay contest. We wanted people to bring
fun to wear. So, I love the character because she has this presence about her. I mean, she's kind of evil and she's kind of the ex, so she's there were some that I'm just taking pictures and I'm thinking I'm going to murder him, it's fine. Just kind of have these faces
that came across.
You don't know how many I actually took that compared to what I shared, but
Okay.
you know, you have to cycle through to find the good ones.
True. The next one I'll be showing you, speaking of doing weird things at 3 a.m, this was 1 a.m, but I had to do a night shoot if I was going to be a werewolf, right?
Yes.
So I did Cirilla McKay, Cire.
Yes.
She has 2 really cool, super long daggers normally. So I brought out my curved short swords, but I can't wait to upgrade this costume and make her daggers because they are so cool in the like in the art on the covers that I based this costume off of. I cannot.
I love her historical costumes because I love history and that kind of side of costuming. So I'm glad you did this one for your photos. Because that's how I decided to be today.
Night photo shoots.
Fantastic.
Oh my god! I bet that was crazy. I haven't done a night photo shoot.
They are so difficult to light properly. So there's like a super yellow, like 20 feet up in the air, like parking lot style lamp post in like near our backyard. And that was just enough ambient light for the night sight mode of my phone to pick things up. But the problem is it messed up the color balance so much. Like her skirt is green, blue, and orange. And I feel like in this, all you can really see is blue and yellow. But
it looks very blue.
It was very worth it to me to lose a little bit of that accuracy in the costume to get that better setting. Because again, like you don't get to pick your setting in an on-stage costume contest.
You literally have like a big like curtain behind you or something.
It's usually covered in logos too. So, you know.
Yeah. I love this one. This is probably my favorite.
Kelly did the editing. This is my favorite too. I'm so proud of Kelly's editing, and I'm glad I had the idea and asked my husband. I was like, you have to get down on the cold, wet February dirt now and take this from low so that Kelly can put a big moon in the background.
You're like, sure, why not? It's 1 a.m. Let's do it. You're like, I'm already out here being weird. Let's just get weirder.
Right. We were like, we really hope the neighbors don't call the cops because my husband was Lord Malice, and you'll see the photos in a moment. I'm actually going to show his before Kelly's just because it still goes with this context of it was 1 a.m. and my backyard butts up to a communal neighborhood pond. Like, so every neighbor's backyard. So I'm like, somebody's going to let their dogs out at night and think that like somebody's trying to rob my house in like a cloak or something like
that. Or they're going to think they're going to be like, oh, the Satanists live behind us. Oh no, she's worshiping the moon.
But also I was walking around with a little flashlight at one point looking for exterior outlets to see if we had one that maybe we could hook my light up to. And I'm like, don't mind me. I'm just walking around shining a flashlight into my own house at 1 a.m.
Definitely like you're casing the joint.
With my husband looking like this.
Red eyes and all.
I was just going to say minus the red eyes because Kelly had to add those, but
that is the stories behind the pictures are sometimes even better than the pictures.
Misty says, love it. And Thomas Guentner says, the lighting does look good though. Thank you, Thomas.
It really does. It added that feel, that vibe to the pictures. It's not just an outdoor picture, it's a nighttime picture and you're a werewolf. So it's perfect.
Yes.
Exactly. And Lord Malice is a crazy vampire lord who turns into a giant flaming bat. So,
I mean, his name is Lord Malice. He's definitely not a good guy.
No.
He's not babysitting your kids on the weekends for you.
Here's the second, like, official submission of my husband, who does not get to win. He cannot be on a cover for this. But
for this, maybe in the future.
And this one, trying to find the right position so that we could get enough light on his hands that you could actually see his fingers at 1 a.m. in the backyard with like, and actually have his hood in it. Getting this photo posed took us probably 15 or 16 tries. Yeah. But once Kelly put the edits in, I'm so glad we went for it because it's just like Palpatine vibes. But
it does. Like, The first time I saw the pictures I felt very Palpatine vibes. I'm like, he should do that costume.
Well, we're halfway there now because we put a Lord Malice together for him. So
Yeah.
We can get Palpatine. We can do this. We can make it happen.
David says, I know how Emperor Palpatine feels after wearing that one. I think he typed that before we started talking about Palpatine.
You feel awesome in a cloak, but at the same time, especially if it's like a hot day, you just don't want to wear it anymore because cloaks are not lightweight. They're not breezy.
But at 1 in the morning
amazing.
In February, I'm sure he appreciated the cloak.
Yes. Yeah, at least up where you are.
So Derek also says, I mean, with a name like Lord Malice, who'd have guessed?
I told you he is teaching Sunday school and babysitting the kids. That's what he's doing.
Okay, with how much my son likes monsters, I think he'd be okay babysitting my son.
Right.
They would become besties. It's fine.
Yeah, my son might scare him.
We'd see little hearts with Logan and Lord Malice, BFFs forever.
Literally, our power went out on Wednesday night, and Logan was up all night because he can't sleep when the power goes out because he has a white noise machine. He was up all night looking up. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't sleep either, obviously, because Logan was up, but he was up all night looking up cryptid videos and giggling at them in the dark.
He would get along with my brother Brad a lot because Brad is a big cryptid guy and finds a lot of humor in it. I think Logan and Brad would be buddies too.
Yeah. I'm just like, you are so my kid.
Yeah. You're so weird and I love you.
Yeah.
Isabel might have fun if he babysat wearing his cloak too, because remember the year I brought my crazy oversized hoodie and chased her around the driveway and then put my hood over both of us and made noises like I was a monster trying to eat her, and she just like laughed and laughed and laughed. We ran around for like an hour. I got my workout in that day.
That's why your kids are awesome.
My kids are very awesome, and I don't think my kids have any fear. Probably because I'm their mom and I'm weird as all get out.
they're so used to it. They're like, oh, that's just something mom does. Whatever.
Yes. I have a picture to upload that did not turn out well, so I didn't initially share it, but I'm going to share it because it's got a funny story to go with it. So I did my own attempt at Anne Marie, and I was not happy with it because I tried vampire teeth and they were a nightmare.
I didn't put the fangs in for that one because it was 3 a.m. I wasn't opening my mouth for the pictures.
Yeah, those fangs.
Yeah.
Nightmare. But so I was wearing the fangs and taking this picture, and Logan comes out and sees me in the fangs and just smiles. So I took them out because I couldn't talk with those fangs and those things were unwieldy. Not going to wear them again. But I took them out and I'm like, oh, hey, Logan, is mommy wearing funny teeth? And Logan smiled and like snapped at me. He's like, and started giggling. I was like, yeah, mommy's wearing monster teeth, right? And then like a few days later, I'm talking to him about, because he's watching monster videos, because this is normal in my house. Because, my kids are normal. Totally. And I was like, Logan, what's your favorite monster? Mommy.
That is high praise right there. That is the best. Considering how much he likes monsters and you're his favorite, that's the best.
I know. My heart just melted. I'm like, yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay, so we can go on with the picture show and tell.
So this is the first version of the main character's girlfriend. I'll let you talk about your own character, Kelly.
Yep, this is Jennifer Conway. So this is not screen accurate or page accurate, whatever, because she has a brown leather jacket and a red tank top, and I did not have either of those things on hand.
You color swapped. It's fine.
I color swapped, yeah. I was like, okay, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I'm sure she doesn't wear the same outfit every day.
No, she doesn't.
She's an animated character. Like, they wear the same clothes forever.
Yeah. She also has a white scarf. So I found my white scarf. And this is for our episode 2 weeks ago. And I found one of my red tank tops. And I had a khaki jacket. Getting closer. I just need
it's the evolution of the character.
Yeah, so I thought this looked a little more like her.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she's a fun character because her hair is dark brown and long, so like I don't have to wear a wig.
It's a comfy character.
It's a comfy character. Yes.
That's the good thing with a lot of the lone wolf or the night wolf characters, because they're modern. You can put together things from your closet and not be stuck in corsets and armor and all this crazy stuff. You can just wear your jeans and your tank tops. Be comfy.
Exactly.
Unless you're like us and you pick the character that's wearing the corset in the modern era because you're crazy.
You know, I love corsets, and
I do too.
if they fit well, they're not uncomfortable.
No, there's that whole that whole thing going around right now about movie corsets.
Maybe we'll have time to address corset gate.
As somebody who has made corsets for over a decade, I have a lot of opinions about movie corsets.
And
speaking of corsets,
is the character Kelly's wearing right now, Cersei, Janelle's twin sister. I'm Janelle right now. And believe it or not, can I talk about the ruffle, Kelly? Is that okay?
Please do. I'm proud of
So Kelly sent me the picture, and Kelly sews, whatever. She's like, does this ruffle look horrible? And I was like, no, it looks good. I think it's adding just the right touch. And a couple of days later, she's talking about how was reusing a corset from it was a Vampire Willow from Buffy.
Vampire Willow.
And I was like, wait a minute, that has a red ruffle. Oh, when you asked how the ruffle looked, you meant, and she was like, yeah, I photoshopped it to be blue. And I was like, I didn't even notice.
Photoshop skills, baby.
Right?
That's some good skills right there.
I thought she had to do a really fast swap out sewing job and was asking me if it looked good.
You're like, did you tuck something down in there and hope it worked?
Nope. I just photoshopped it and hoped for the best. And see, I look at it and I can see my photoshopping and it's glaring to me. So I'm so glad that no one else can see it.
No, I just thought you had found a very, very bright blue ruffle to put in there, and I love it.
Well, thank you. But
also, it's my favorite color of my favorite shade of blue. So kind of partial to it there.
It's a fun shade of blue, and
it's my favorite. My hair's been that color. It's my absolute favorite color. So I'm just like, I love that.
And the twins are definitely all about the blue.
All about the blue, which is so funny. So Janelle wears a shade of like robin's egg blue, kind of turquoise, that everything in between that shade and mint green that has a tealish cast to it. Literally, my friends call those shades Crayle teal. And so I saw this character and was like,
mine.
I have to do this character. She's wearing my color. She's wearing Crayle teal. So
I love it.
And to brag on us, every single photo we just showed you has Rob Multari's seal of approval. He did say that the first version that Kelly did in the color swapped jacket and tank top wasn't page accurate, but definitely that the pose and everything caught her spirit. And then after that, the second version got his blessing. So that always feels nice.
When he complimented, he said, you nailed it with my Anne Marie. I'm like, when the creator thinks you've done it, you're like, thank you. Especially when you're like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but here we go.
Yeah. And I was traveling last weekend and did not have time to brush this wig, but Janelle would never, ever be seen with a single hair out of place. So just pretend that my hair is like perfectly, magically held in place.
She is very, very
literally.
diva.
Like she literally would be like, you know what? The humidity's a little high today. I'm just going to
zap it.
Yes. So
it's all right. We'll get pictures and make sure the wig is pristine because we got to get some twin pictures.
Absolutely. Kelly and I are going to do a photo shoot for our Patreon. I guess this is going to become a plug moment now. So Kelly and I have a Patreon. If you go to linktree.com/Phoenix, PHOENIX, sis, SIS, cosplay, COSPLAY, spelling it because not everybody watches the video. So if you're on audio only, now you know what link to go to. And our Patreon link is there. We do one photo shoot a month, sometimes both of us, sometimes just one of us. That's the only place you'll find our PG-13 content because our public pages are 100% family friendly for all ages. And also you get 30 days early access at a minimum, additional perks that are listed on the website, and we take requests. So my Mara Jade that I did from the expanded universe of Star Wars, I did that because one of our patrons wanted me to do someone from Star Wars that you don't see very often, and he gave me a couple of options, and I was like, I will totally do Mara Jade for you. And so I put the whole thing together. So if you have a character you really want to see brought to life that you don't see very often, join our Patreon. And that's my plug there.
That's something I've always thought of putting together, but my brain goes, nobody wants to support that for you. That's just my brain. That's my brain going, no, it's not going to happen. Also, if you want scatterbrained and organizing it, my brain would just. Yeah.
If you want to do a month on our Patreon, and we'll give you that month's stuff, we'll ask our patrons about it, but most of our patrons also watch this show and adore you. So we'll talk about that after the show.
We all know my anxiety levels with how I feel people perceive me. So it's not something that's going to go away anytime soon. I wished it would, but here we are 40 years into my life and it still hasn't gone away. So.
Oh, I mean, I get it. I have anxiety too. Like it applies to different parts of my life than other people because everybody's unique, including when it comes to anxiety.
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter type of anxiety. So it's fun. Your brain is your worst enemy. It's great.
Yep. Yeah. We are at the halfway mark. So I think we should do our cosplay catwalk, and then we will show the 2 runner-ups and the winner of the cosplay contest.
Yay! I'm so excited. Okay, who's going first?
I'll go first.
Yeah. She wants to show off the Crayle teal.
So, I am Janelle, and I'm too sexy for my cosplay.
Woo!
I'm a sexy, sexy witch named Janelle, trying to show you my shoes.
I love that your headphone cord matches the dress. It's
right.
That's because this is okay. And my other headphones, also Crayle teal. I've got both ends of it here. Like I wasn't joking. People see this color and they're like, "That's the Crayle color."
Yep.
So it's a good color, though. I see why you like it, though. It's good.
It is. It is. Actually, one of my headphones match too.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't have the blue ruffle.
Twinsies.
It's okay.
All right, I'll go next. Let's see if I have enough room. Too sexy for my little skirt and my boots. Okay, I think that was an under shot. I'm sorry, ladies. Too sexy.
I mean, at least there was something there.
At least there was something there. Yeah, this skirt is way too short.
That's a very tiny skirt.
It's very.
I probably would have been pulling on it the whole time. Like, nope, come on down.
Yeah, well, okay, y'all got more than you expected, but.
You know what? Everything was covered. That's what matters. Like it. If they had been attached to the skirt, it would have been not considered underwear and the exact same shape.
Yeah.
So, it's okay.
This is what happens when it's live. Also, this is a preview. What you can see on our Patreon.
Thomas says, wow.
Thanks, honey. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Andrea.
Yes, Andrea.
It's not accurate, but it's close.
You look so good. Andrea's too sexy for her cosplay. She's too sexy for her cosplay.
The green vest part, somebody gave me a red and a green one of this like 10 years ago, and I've never used them. And when I looked at Cyrilla in the book, I'm like, it's not 100%, but it's close.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And I was going to put my Merida underdress, but then I was like, no, turn the collar under. This is actually my Briar Rose shirt.
I thought maybe it was, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And
then Goodwill, hello.
Right?
I love it.
Do you know how hard it is to find? I was going to make like just a little green plaid skirt to find dark green plaid fabric right now. Oh my God. I have searched and searched. And I was like, oh, okay, well, we're going to go close.
Yeah, my skirt
stay in the neutrals.
my skirt is technically not long enough for my Sarah. It was really hard to find
right.
one that was long enough.
No,
So
mine
like
literally goes to my knees. Hers is much longer.
yeah, so I was trying to find an almost floor length one. And
Yeah.
so instead I just did every pose with my knee bent so that it would. So cosplay posing tip, if your skirt does go over your knee and it's supposed to be even longer, if you bend your knee, it looks like your skirt is up because of your leg position and not because it's not accurate.
And angle down a little bit. Angle
down.
Also,
Yep.
I feel like there were at least some panels in the comic where her skirt was more
a little
healing.
more. It was more kilt like than just a skirt.
So you guys are fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
Well, that makes
we were going with the feel of the characters. If we weren't 100% accurate, we were going with the feel.
right. Our submissions who could actually win, though, were very accurate, and I'm getting us into those now. So we will start with runner-up 1. This is Kelly's friend. Would you like to introduce him?
This is Juan Pintor, who is a super talented photographer and cosplayer, obviously. This is his werewolf look, just so good. Like, look at it. So,
Yes.
Amazing.
It's so perfect for the Night Wolf story. It, like, literally, even with the plaid and the t-shirt and everything.
Yes.
It's so perfect.
Yep.
So, partway transition. If only he had been out under the moonlight, we could have done him some cool edits too. Or no, we're judges. Maybe we shouldn't edit people's photos for them, but for fun later.
I edited Sarah's photos, but
that's
why I told you guys to disregard the edits. I edited her photos because she was a little insecure about submitting her photos as is. So I told her I would edit them, but then we just didn't take the edits into consideration.
Okay, I wasn't looking at the edits that way anyway because we weren't taking them into consideration. I just forgot that it was because you did the edits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Brain mush, people. Brain mush.
You know,
it's been a long first 2 months of the year, guys.
It's
all right.
2 months.
January was like a whole year's worth of a month. So
it was February.
February's been faster for me. But
February's not even over yet.
No, it's not, but it's only a few more days. It's the 24th. We only have 4 more days.
Well, it feels like February's been a year too. Anyways, go on.
So this is our friend Ruby, who is doing Jennifer's best friend Jessica. Right? Yes. Did I get the J's in the right order? I've mixed the two.
And Ruby looks amazing. And to be clear, runner-up number 1 and runner-up number 2, that doesn't mean that either was better than the other. They're both so good. They basically tied.
They tied for runner-up. We double checked with Rob. We were like, we can't decide. Do we just send them both? And he was like, well, I was considering when we thought we were doing Snowpaw and Nightwolf at the same time, then both runner-ups would have gotten a swag box. So we were like, oh, thank goodness. That means we can give both of her runner-ups a swag box. So I love that Ruby took this photo in the woods because it's a mostly horror genre comic. And I feel like there's just that bad stuff happening in the woods, run away through the woods feel. So
when you do costumes that are that simple, you have to nail everything else with it. And she did. That's
she
the thing.
did.
She took all the little details into consideration, the location, the photos, and that made it the whole package instead of just people going, she's not dressed up, she's in everyday clothes. It's like, no, she is. And you've got the location on top of it. Mm-hmm. That's the only hard part about modern cosplay, like modern character cosplay that's not a costume. It's so much harder to convey that character sometimes, and Ruby nailed it. So
yes.
Yeah, absolutely, down to like the last detail. So she took one of the simplest looking outfits on any of the main characters from the beginning of the series and just brought the whole persona to life. And that's, I know I've said it 3 or 4 times now, but virtual costume contests allow you to do that in a way that runway, like on the stage costume contests don't allow you to do. So we are going to be doing more events like this in the future. I hope I'm building up suspense for me to announce the winner, right? Because it's coming up it's coming up, but we will be doing more in the future. Next year, probably starting in March, we will be doing a Snowpaw specific one because we realize people need more time to do an entirely period set.
Yeah.
And I encourage any of you who have a platform to do so, who ever do cosplay contests, to try a virtual one because it's just such a different set of considerations. And without further ado, I shall announce our winner, Sarah Frades, who is Janelle. Yay!
Anytime Sarah puts on a costume, she is that
She's
character.
transformed.
Mm-hmm.
Transformed.
It helps that she's also an actress, so she literally can put the attitude into, she's not, you don't see her moving and acting, but you see the attitude of the character in the photo.
Absolutely. Like if these backgrounds weren't here, her poses would still be
literally, I could see Janelle standing in her mirror in her bedroom, like, yes, I look amazing. Just doing that pose. Like,
Yes.
Look at me. I'm fantastic.
Yeah,
So.
she just nailed Janelle
Yes.
perfectly. Like all three of them just did a fantastic job.
Fantastic.
Yes, that was amazing. I'm really happy that we got to do this. We also drummed up a ton of interest in this independently written and published comic book, which is always a plus.
Definitely.
Don't get me wrong, there are amazing writers and artists who work for big labels, but they have publicists and advertising budgets and things like that. And so any creative way we can think to help out indie creators, we always will. So
definitely. I mean, because all of us in some way are indie creators. Kelly's a writer. You do your Pokeballs. I do, my sewing. We know lots of indie creators, so we want to support that as much as we can.
Exactly.
The big names, still give them their love because they've worked hard to get there. But they have so much backing and so much easier ways to get out in the world. And the indie people can get so lost in the fog of all this. The internet has made it so much easier and so much harder at the same time for somebody to get notice because you're out there and anybody can get to it. But it's like when I was talking to my brother Brad about how people are like, oh my God, why don't you have more followers on Instagram? I'm like, well, first off, tell people to follow me. Second, you're literally like, especially with us as cosplayers, it is so saturated with cosplayers, no matter what level they are. So you get lost in those tags in the pictures. So to have other people want to promote and support those creators helps get them out to people that might never have found them in that entire mass of other stuff.
It's true. And in that vein, if you go to lonewolfcomics.com, you can get the first issue of Nightwolf completely for free digitally to see if you like the comics or not, but we really think you're going to. Like the only reason you wouldn't like these comics would be if the genre is just never for you. But even then, I really want you to like download it and give it a try because this might be the one that's like, okay, I don't normally like this genre, but it's for me. And you're really supporting an indie creator. Yes. So go to lonewolfcomics.com, go to any of the Nightwolf tabs. There are tons of places all around the website to click on it until you find where to download the first issue for free. Also, Rob is a really, really, really nice guy. He's been so positive for us to work with. He's been on other shows that I've been a part of. He wasn't able to do as much with the cosplay contest as he wanted to because I chose the timing based on what worked for me. And he had a Kickstarter going on at the same time that he had to do a lot of stuff for. So,
but he did not pick the winner. So that's
absolutely,
it's going on his comic. So he needed a say in it.
He had a vote, but he was such a nice guy throughout this whole process. I had the privilege of meeting him at Con Nuga last weekend in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he's the nicest guy. Like, I mean, indie creators who are good at what they do and publishing independently already, you want to support them because of their talent, but also he's just so nice. Like, I don't know. He's probably going to watch this and like turn a little red here, but Rob, We love working with you.
That's the whole thing, though. Support these people. Like they are putting their heart and soul into what they're doing and taking that chance of putting themselves out there. And so many people on the internet want to be so judgmental. Go and be kind to indie creators, because most of them, like Rob, are extremely nice people, and they're just as nervous about what other people are going to think of their work. And they've probably been torn down and had people go, "Oh, you're never going to succeed," but go and give them a little cheerleading. Follow them, give them some love, because they deserve it. They're putting themselves out there for the world to critique.
That is true. So in the vein of this conversation, I kind of want to challenge everybody today on Facebook or Instagram or something. Find a way. It changes a little bit based on what platform you're using each time, but find a way to go invite people who like a certain kind of thing to like one of your friends' pages, because it's easy to forget.
Another indie creator, share them.
Yeah, and using invite functions like that sends it straight to people's inbox where it was recommended by someone and that will help them get that boost we were talking about.
And it's also, a lot of people like to post things in like their Instagram stories, but once again, you get lost in the lurch. Somebody might miss that story and they're only there temporarily. But if you send that invite, or you like directly message somebody and say, "Hey, I think you might like this," it's going to be more permanent than a story that might not get seen.
So everybody, tonight or this weekend, pick one of your friend creators, or if you don't have any like close friends who are creators, pick Cosplay Cafe. Tell people about our show and have them follow us on social media. But everybody pick an indie creator that you know and like, and just share them in a more direct way than hitting the share button this weekend. That's my sort of mini challenge. So, and if you're not into challenges, then just consider it like your kindness homework for the weekend.
Yes.
However you can play it for yourself.
I like kindness homework. The world needs all the kindness it can get. So share that, show off people that are putting themselves out there and using their talents, because there's a lot of them. I mean, look, we don't interview nothing but big name cosplayers. We interview people that are just doing it because they love it. They're having fun with it. My friend Dwayne loves to write music. He wrote our theme song, and he puts his music out. I might have to share his stuff some more with people. He's got it online. You can search his name that was in our credits. Go listen to his music. He writes some amazing music. So go show him some love. And he's like Rob. He's one of those super talented people, but he's also like one of the kindest people you'll ever know. They're the kind that will literally give you the shirt off their back if they have to. And go show those people some love. They kind of get lost behind all the people that are loud and angry all the time, especially online. All the loud, angry people are the ones getting all the attention.
And hey, speaking of kindness homework for the weekend, if you're close to Andrea, make sure you wish her happy birthday. Misty says, Andrea, happy birthday on Sunday.
Happy birthday, Andrea. We love you.
40 of you around the sun. I had to go with Mom to a celebration of life for a family member of hers that passed away last weekend. And my mom's cousin looked at me when I said, "Yeah, I'll be 40 next week." She goes, "How dare you walk in here and tell me you're going to be 40 and have the nerve not to look it?" I was like, I'm looking at her and I'm like, "Well, you're Mom's cousin. Do you look at Mom and think she's 74? Come on." I was like, it runs in the family to not look our age. So I mean, I'm happy that means that, maybe when I'm in my 60s and 70s, I'll maybe start looking 50. But
maybe. It's like when Derek had a heart attack because he found out Kelly wasn't 25.
It's fun to throw people for that loop. It's a lot of fun.
Jason Bear's reaction. I'll never get over it.
Kelly got to interview Jason Bear as part of the Multiverse fundraiser this year. And he was just enamored with her. She dressed up in a Crackdown waitress uniform, and he could not stop complimenting her. It was amazing.
I still I still have that pick myself up off the floor, by the way. But so then the subject of our kids came up, and I asked how old his kids were, or his son was, and his son is only a couple years younger than my kids. So I mentioned how old my kids were, and he looked at me. He's like, "What, were you 8 when you had them?" I'm like, like what? I'm like, no,
like,
no.
Thank you, sir.
I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm 41. He's like, well, it looks good on you, and I'm like.
They're like, I have to finish this interview. Can you not do this?
Yeah, no, I literally was like, I'm gonna take the next question because I'm getting flustered. When I said that out loud on air.
Derek says, "What do you mean? Kelly is 25."
Derek Spicer says, "What do you mean? Kelly is 25?"
Yeah.
You all are really good for my ego.
And that's the funny thing. People say women aren't supposed to tell you their age. I will tell you my age every day of the week. I don't care.
I turned 30 this month. I'm so excited. I spent the first half of my 20s being kind of stupid, and the second half of my 20s trying to clean up from the first half of my 20s being stupid. Now I'm 30 and I get to try new ways to be stupid. It's so exciting.
It's a whole new decade of stupid. So you're out of the 20 club. Everybody at work that's like in my age bracket, they're like, you're about to be in the 40 club. And I'm like, doesn't feel any different. My body felt like it was 40 when I was 15. So
I feel that. Oh my gosh. Like that'll be another nice thing about being 30 is people will finally maybe take me a little more seriously when I say that I'm in pain, because it's I'd be like, hey, this hurts. And people are like, you're 25. Nothing's allowed to hurt. You don't know what pain is.
You're too young to hurt. Yeah. No, I've had back pain since I was like 13. You're too young for that. I'm like, would you please tell my body to stop then? Just,
right.
Those
comments aren't helpful.
I would love just like you have anxiety. Just get over it. You fixed me. You told my pain to go away and my anxiety to disappear. I'm good now.
Thanks. I'm cured.
And I know some people, when they say you're too young for that, they don't mean it in a bad way, but it does feel like they're like, oh, you shouldn't be in pain. And so I'm just going to discredit your pain is what it really feels like. Yeah. So yeah, my body's felt like it was 40 for a very long time. But here we are. Surviving, making it through the world.
That's one of the reasons we cosplay, right? It keeps us young, even when our bodies are being mean to us and feeling bad.
How many of our friends do we have that are in their like 50s and older that when people go, they're what? You're like, no.
So many of my cosplay friends. And first of all, I want to get this out here. There is nothing wrong with looking your age.
Not at all.
The media perception of like, people are like, how is she still so hot over 40? And it's like, because 40 is not that old, first of all.
God, no. In my family, I'm not even halfway there because like we have family that lives into their 90s and early hundreds. So
right. And it's okay to look. It's okay to look 90. All right. You can still be beautiful. There are still beautiful things about you.
But you have your wrinkles, your gray hair, and
it is not a woman's job to look hot. So you also don't have to look hot at every age. That's a whole other can of worms, but
But that's the whole thing is like, it's the very true beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because what one person thinks is absolutely beautiful, somebody else might go, but it's fine. You don't have to look. I feel like I look like I'm at least close to 40, but most people don't believe it. And I'm like, that's fine for your perception, but it doesn't matter as long as I'm happy with me.
Right.
But for cosplayers, I feel like one of the reasons people say that cosplayers in general look so much younger is because a lot of what looks young is actually the way you act. And still being unabashedly into your passions is associated with young behavior, right? Yes. So cosplay keeps you young. If you're just watching this via audio, listeing, I was hitting some pretty hard air quotes there. Like,
so we found the fountain of youth, and it's cosplay.
It really is, though. But the funny thing is, so many people, the people that are like, you're in your 30s and you still cosplay. It's like, bro, I finally have the means to do what I wanted to do when I was 20.
Yeah.
I finally have a job where I go, okay, yeah, I still have to pay bills, but there might be a little bit left over to make that costume now.
I cosplay because 8-year-old Kelly could never have imagined being able to do all this cool stuff. Okay.
That, like, literally, last year when I put on my Anastasia costume for the first time, 14-year-old me started crying because I watched that movie 25 years ago when I was 14 years old when it came out in, 98 or 97. And I'm looking in the mirror going, 14-year-old me wanted this dress, but never thought I would put it on. Yep. And so there I was, 39 years old, looking in a mirror, crying like a baby, and my mom going, "You're going to mess your makeup up." Because you got to be practical when you're about to go out and entertain children. But that's the thing is, like, unless you have a parent that's a cosplayer and they start you when you're little, it's a lot harder to do it when you're younger, and then you're an adult and you go, I've learned to do these things. I have the means to do these things. Now I can go do these things. And nobody's going to tell you no because you're an adult and you can do what you want.
Yep.
Yeah. So if any of these topics we've talked about regarding age or beauty are really interesting to you, I do want to point out that last year we had an episode about body neutrality. So if you look that up on any of our channels where we've got videos uploaded, and we also had a really good longer episode about ageism in cosplay, where one of the things I talked about was, ageism in cosplay can hurt you even when you're young, because I didn't start cosplaying in earnest until I was 21, 22. And I was like, oh no, I'm running out of time. What if I can only do this when I'm young? And that gave me stress that I didn't need to have. So
it hits so many people. We did talk more about the older cosplayers because that's what we were doing, the 30 and older. But you do see, especially kids, and it's not at the same level of the, oh my God, you put your toddler in a beauty pageant, but it is, well, how do you know they want to do that? When they're younger. So it can also, parents have to justify why their kid is in a costume sometimes. So it falls, there's positive and negatives on both ends, and you just have to find a way to balance them. And unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of people screaming, because once again, the howler monkeys are the loudest online, and they're gonna try to tear down some of this stuff, and you just have to keep going and have fun with it.
That is true. So if these are topics that mean a lot to you, we're running out of time in the hour. Go back and watch one or both of those episodes, especially if you haven't seen them yet, because they were very personal and important to us. And we've gotten a lot of feedback from people saying that it helped them and that they really enjoyed it. So if it can help you too, that would be amazing. Also, if you ever need any encouragement, if you want to show off your work, but you don't want to post it to the whole internet yet, send us your photos. We will tell you what we think. We will tell you the positives. And then if you are looking for a way to beef up the costume or improve it, we can talk to you about that in private. Send us your stuff. We're here to support you.
Yes.
We're about supporting everybody and the notion everybody can cosplay. And we will inflate your ego, but we'll also give you tips. So that's what we're here for. And, it's nice to have people in your corner, because sometimes a lot of people I know, they cosplay totally alone and they don't have somebody in their corner. They need a cheerleader every now and then. And that's us.
So I feel like I just had my mini speech. Andrea had her mini speech, because we normally at the end of the episode, at the end of the episode, we do ask our guest, what are your words of wisdom? So Kelly, your turn.
Oh gosh. Life is just too short to not do the things that make you happy. Don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about, and if people are being negative or bringing you down, you don't need those people in your life. You only get one go around this crazy life of ours. So make it a good one. That was short, but
that's okay.
Very good point, though. No, let your freak flag fly, guys.
Exactly.
And don't let anybody tell you you're weird for doing what you love.
Even if you are weird.
Weird is way more fun than being bland and boring and granola. We love the weird. We're not against you being a granola person, but we do so love. Delightful. You know, I always think about the craft when he said, "Watch out for the weirdos." I'm like, we are the weirdos, Mister. You know, that's us. We love it. We love you guys.
Yes, we do. So, Andrea, where can we find you?
My Instagram, mostly Media Rice. And then on our link tree has all the links. So you can find me through our link tree.
Which is linktree.com/Cosplay Cafe podcast.
I'm trying
We're gonna remember it off the top of our heads in like 10 years.
Thank you, Crayle.
Linktree.com/Cosplay Cafe podcast.
Yes, I got it right.
That's where you can find everything about us. We each have, they have their Phoenix Sisters link tree. I have my Media Rice, but we're all right there on that Cosplay Cafe podcast one.
Yeah, that is definitely the best place to find us.
In one place.
And you can get merch for the show, including Kelly, do you mind holding up your mug?
Oh, yes. We have, it's getting washed out. Sorry. Here. I'm too sexy for my cosplay. The other side does say cosplay.
Our bright blue kind of gets washed out on the white mug.
Yeah, it
looks amazing in person. Trust us.
That's why I'm washed out too. It's even paler than I usually am, and I'm pretty pale.
Goes with the goth witch look, but that's redbubble.com/people/Phoenix Sisters/shop. Or if you go to redbubble.com and you can't remember all that, if you search Phoenix Sisters, just make sure you look for like a little icon for like a shop at the top, or otherwise you're just going to get artwork of phoenixes, which is cool and beautiful, but you won't find our merch there. Yeah. So if you go to redbubble.com, search Phoenix Sisters, look for an icon near the top of the page. It has like a red and orange PSC logo, and that's where you can get merch. It is under the Phoenix Sisters name, but we do share all three of it equally and use stuff that you buy to do with this show for the show. It's just that we didn't feel like setting up 30 different Redbubbles for all our different creative projects.
We all have enough different places we're at. We didn't need another. We have our
fingers in too many pies, y'all.
All the pies, all the flavors.
Speaking of which, I am going to be launching an Indiegogo in about a week for to fund an audiobook for my first book, Scorcher. I've got my friends Kansas Badu and Chris Jowers on
Jowers.
Yep. Yeah.
I love Jowers. Jowers is amazing. He's such a good dude.
Got them hired to be narrators for my audiobook. So really the Indiegogo is just to raise funds so I can pay them what they're worth, because they are worth a lot.
Yes.
And I'm really excited about it. I really want to bring this audiobook to all of y'all. And so just keep an eye on all of the Phoenix Sisters stuff so I can, and you know, if you're Facebook friends with me, keep an eye on that.
Support it, because her books are great, but I know some people that prefer audiobooks over sitting down and reading them, so they're missing out.
Me. I prefer audiobooks these days because who has time to sit down and read? Like, I love books, but
I read before bed in like an hour. I'm halfway through a 1,001 page book because Brandon Sanderson is very long-winded.
It's great, but I'm happy for you. I listen to audiobooks before I go to bed because otherwise.
But it's to each his own, man. If that's how you enjoy your book, that's how you enjoy your book.
And they're going to be so good. I'm so excited. And I'm going to have an ad coming soon. So,
support indie artists.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
So keep an eye out. It's going to have some fun perks.
And on that note, if you want to buy cosplay supplies that you already need anyway while supporting this show, we're going to say goodnight and goodbye, everybody. And find out how you can get a discount on those cos supplies while supporting us with this video.
We learned well around here.
Good night and goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Cosplay Cafe is sponsored by wadcosplay.com, which is your one-stop shop for quality costumes and cosplay supplies. So click on the link in our show notes to get a 20% off discount. Or not, if you hate saving money.
I don't know you. I don't know your life. Clicking on the link does help support our show. So, you know what? Just do the thing. Do the thing.